thank you for being prepared for the live stream to start. I see that we have a connection, and I'm just checking to make sure that we have all of our links propagated, make sure we're in the right places, and I see that oh, snap. Got a little bit of feedback there from my own monitor, and it looks like, yeah, the audio is coming through all the way, and places, and I see that oh, snap. Got a little bit of feedback. Yeah, that wasn't what I wanted either. All right, we got Kevin McCormick in the chat saying AOC is always in denial. Remember, it's just crypto. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you're right. It is just crypto, and these are just politicians doing what they do around crypto. Guys, we're going to get started in just a second here. Let me just double check to make sure that I have, yep, a couple of likes going into there. Be sure to slam that thumbs up and share the link. Sharing is caring, guys. It's great to have more people here. Greg Moravik is in the chat, and it's time for me to say hello. Guys, great to see your lovely shining faces. Great to talk to you about cryptocurrency. Another day in paradise, another day in a relatively strong market, despite what the Fear and Greed Index says. Speaking of which, let's jump in and take a look at that. Guys, I've still got a little bit of a persistent dry cough, so I apologize if I just kind of like, you know, do my little vampire cough. I am not feeling bad. I'm actually feeling quite good, but you know how it is every now and then when you have that cough that just doesn't want to go away, that last little bit of a cough, it just wants to stick around for a while. Jermaine says, hey, Uncle Seth. Bronson says, oh, yeah, it's Seth. Open-Minded Bitcoin is here, says, good morning, crypto fam. Hope all is well. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's jump straight into our Fear and Greed Index. Guys, your chat is on screen, so do be on your best behavior. Chat is out of control, but you know I'm here for it. Absolutely love it. Try to remember, though, that we are attempting to be the mentors that we wish we had. So as other people come in, do ask good questions and do answer the questions that you see coming in. Current score is 25. What does it mean? Yesterday, we were in extreme fear. Today, we're in extreme fear, but the trend is good. It looks like we're moving in the direction of perhaps less fear. See that? Kind of precipitous upturn. And I think we're going to be seeing this for a while, guys. I think we're in for some kind of interesting markets based on some of the news cycle. These are not rational markets. You've heard me say it when the sentiment is up. You've heard me say it when the sentiment is down. These aren't rational markets. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin in particular, people buy, people sell for crazy reasons, usually not according to fundamental analysis, and usually not even according to very good technical analysis. That's why I don't put too much stock in our technical side of the show, even though I take a look at the chart, and we do try to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening. We can kind of only look at the past. We can't really predict the future. But when you look at high-level athletes, right? When you look at people who deal in sort of like very mind game centered, mental game heavy games, such as like with very heavy game theory, such as poker, for example, they very much read the room. You know what I mean? When an athlete is on the field and they're trying to get ready to figure out whether or not they need a juke, or they have to like roll out of something, or they have to just like make a like a really, really fast sprint through the opposing side into the end zone, or whatever it is they're trying to do, right? If you're in hockey, you don't want to take that slap shot from far away if you don't need to. You want to get as close as possible. You want to fake out that other person. These mental games, I know it seems disconnected, but within cryptocurrency, it's very applicable. That's why I think it's so important that we take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. These indicators, right? Figuring out what other people are thinking and feeling helps us get close enough to our net, to our goal, that we can maybe, right? Maybe knock in another one of those slap shots, or just like tip it in instead of having to like always like, you know, wear our shooting arm out, trying to do slap shots from across the court, and, you know, maybe we meet with some success. No, we need to understand the mental game of other people who are playing. So the Fear and Greed Index, I think, is a really solid indicator. That said, without giving any legal, financial, or business advice, and yep, the red screen is incoming, I view this as a counter indicator. When people are feeling bad, it makes me bold. When people are feeling overconfident and greeting, it makes me concerned, right? I try to go the opposite. Absalom's in the chat saying, hey, Daniel Keller, resident celebrity in the Flux space, in the developer and in the project lead space. Thanks for being here, brother. Really appreciate seeing you in the chat. He says, sup, peeps. And then Bernie's in the chat saying, hey, Seth, good to see you guys here. Thank you for being with me while we go over the markets live, guys. This is genuinely my pleasure. Let's go over that first news article, though. This is kind of what dominates people's mental space, right? This is where the markets live rent-free in people's heads, is when people like AOC come out and say something about cryptocurrency that to her constituency sounds intelligent or sounds reasonable or sounds, some sort of way. And then people begin to form thoughts, opinions, and feelings about it that cause them to do things in the markets. So we need to pay attention to some of this stuff. It will affect our favorite coins sooner or later. So AOC says that US lawmakers shouldn't hold crypto to remain impartial. First off, guys, thumbs up if you like that thumbnail today with AOC and the giant bug eyes. I had fun with that one. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of fun with that one. AOC is a very public character. She can handle it. She's got thick skin. She's also got massive bug eyes. And so I just really wanted to accentuate that, because I'm going to be petty about that one. It was just really, really funny to give her massive bug eyes. It fit. Anyway, so she says that U.S. lawmakers shouldn't hold crypto to remain impartial. I want to do my job, this is her quote, as ethically and impartially as I can, said AOC, who added that as a member of the House of Representatives Financial Services Committee, she has chosen not to hold stocks or investments, including digital assets. That sounds like the decision that only a young and an inexperienced person could make, because you look at the older members of the House of Representatives, you look at the older members of the Senate and Congress, they all have investments. And in some cases, some of them are quite obviously involved in insider trading because they're trying to get ahead financially as much as they can at that phase of life, so they're prepared for whenever they have to stop working or they're forced into retirement, or we maybe just fire them. I sincerely hope that's the case for some of these characters. But it's just really funny that AOC would go there. I mean, what an incredibly juvenile attitude. I'm just going to say it outright, guys. It's an incredibly juvenile attitude. Well, to remain impartial, I shouldn't have any investments at all. What kind of sense does that make? None at all. Daniel Keller chimes in and says, very little of anything AOC says is intelligent. I have to agree. I don't want to pick on her too much, right? She's not here to defend herself. It's not an inquisition or whatever. But she's always subject to the court of public opinion. And she said something really dumb, I think. So as crypto peeps, I think we should be encouraging our favorite members of the House of Representatives. We should be encouraging our senators. We should be encouraging members of Congress to get involved in cryptocurrency, to get exposure to cryptocurrencies. Not because it's necessarily going to win them over to our cause, but it might actually teach them a thing or two if they have to handle a crypto wallet, right? They might actually start to understand this technology. And once they start to understand it a little bit, maybe they'll start to talk about policies in a way that doesn't sound so disconnected. Because here is AOC talking about crypto like a boomer. Doesn't fit, right? Kind of weird, but also like an extremely naive person. Very juvenile attitude. Well, I just shouldn't hold any of these investments at all because that would taint my opinion. Well, no, maybe it would inform you. Maybe it would inform your opinion so you can have an intelligent opinion. Anyway, rant over. Obviously, we could probably pick on this particular politician all day. But moving on, guys, let's take a look at the next in the news cycle. Coinbase adds ETH2 despite tomorrow's Ethereum upgrade, postponing the difficulty bomb. What? Yeah, that's right. ETH2 is not a new cryptocurrency, and the exchange appears to be prepping for Ethereum's transition to proof of stake. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen Coinbase be so incredibly ahead of a particular move, but let's be real. This is very different from when Coinbase had to list Ethereum Classic and issue credit for the fork after the DAO hack, right? Or after the Bitcoin Cash fork. Coinbase was along for the ride, and they honored those forks. It was quite a cool thing for them to do, actually, being a custodian of cryptocurrencies. But here they are, kind of jumping the gun, I think. They're also kind of on Coinbase Pro, listing almost anything that comes along. So all bets are off with Coinbase. They're in business for one thing, and that is to try to hold as much of other people's cryptocurrency as possible. Clearly, they're lining themselves up. They're vying for that would-be validator and staker role. They want people to put their 32 ETH on Coinbase. Gosh darn it. And it's becoming increasingly clear that they want that position in the sort of the public consciousness. You tell me in the chat, though, is this a good thing? I think a lot of the ethos for the Mind Your Biz channel, a lot of us here in the live chat, especially, we are, many of us are of the opinion that they're not your keys, it's not your cheese, right? Non-custody, right? Or non-custodial ownership. I know that seems like a mouthful, but unhosted wallets, right? The stuff that you hold, sovereign crypto. This is what makes all of this technology matter. Satoshi talked about it in the white paper and in the early communications. And pretty much every project founder since then has made an effort to get people to hold their own keys. Again, shout out to Daniel Keller, who's in the chat right now, and the Zelcore wallet, guys. I'm just realizing we may still have some totally unclaimed, by the way, Zelcore, some Zelcore premium keys we can give away. We've got to do that really, really soon. We're getting extremely close to the 15,000 subscriber mark here on Mind Your Biz on this channel, and perhaps that will be what we give away, as opposed to there being a physical node case giveaway. That'd be pretty cool, right? Help more people step into sovereignty in holding their cryptocurrencies in a multi-coin wallet. I think I'd like to see that. All right, guys, moving into the rest of the news cycle here. Coinbase adding ETH 2.0. I mean, I don't know. Kevin McCormick says overall a good move. I think he's right, probably for Coinbase, probably for broader adoption. I'm hoping that more people kind of get on board with their own sovereign holding of keys, especially in the Ethereum and the sort of EVM ecosystem, broader EVM ecosystem, Avalanche, Phantom, Polygon, BSC. All of these are as simple to hold and operate as Ethereum is. So, and in fact, it's more flexible and easier to work with these networks if you hold your own keys, if you have your own signing device, like a hardware or a software wallet or a decommissioned phone that runs a multi-coin wallet that supports all of these networks or allows you to add your own custom RPCs. If I'm moving kind of fast for anybody who's not familiar with these networks, just means adding support, right? By making a couple of changes inside of, say, any number of mobile wallets like MetaMask or like Walleth. And I think we've got some support for adding those custom networks in other wallets as well. So far easier to do when people are used to the idea of holding their own keys. It's dangerous freedom, but it's freedom, right? So I don't like the idea of it going to Coinbase. Good as training wheels. For Kevin McCormick's feedback, I think it's probably true, probably is net positive, but I have some concerns about that, guys. I don't like seeing Coinbase become synonymous in the minds of most people with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin especially. Doesn't make sense to me. But guys, if you're here and you're lurking, please do hit that thumbs up button. I'm seeing a bit of a disconnect between our live viewers and our thumbs ups. Please do hit those. And if you're lurking, you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for, guys? It's free. Make that subscribe button explode and then click the bell icon so you're notified when new media comes out. Really, especially in Gem Hunter season, especially as we're gearing up to do further project interviews, as we start to see more of that price support, as we ease into or maybe move up and then crash into whatever that future bear market is or quasi bear market conditions. It may not look like anything we've ever seen before, but as we get into that market, we expect to see more project founder interviews, developer interviews, and such. You need to be subscribed to know when we go live. All right, moving back into the news cycle. Guys, we've got some kind of more spicy news coming out of SushiSwap over on You today. Is this Vladislav? Let's see. Yep, we got Vladislav Sopov, who is reporting on a bit of a scandal over at SushiSwap. I don't want to go too in depth here. It's going to sound perhaps like it is like we're discussing people more than ideas. And you know that for my part, I guess maybe with the exception of politicians, right? They're very public figures. So when they make dumb choices that maybe affect us through policy, I'm okay with calling that dumb. Those ideas are worth discussing and ascribing to a person. When it comes to companies like this and builders in the space, I don't know that it's always productive to like nitpick or backbite. But apparently there's some scandal coming out of SushiSwap. Who knew? Actually, we saw this before. They're no strangers to controversy. So it's not too big a shock to see there's some issues here. Wow, pitchforks. And yeah, that's pretty great. Man, what a salmon right there. That's got me hungry, not for salmon nigiri, but for some toro nigiri, yeah? Sound good, guys? Nice Tuesday toro nigiri instead of Taco Tuesday, Toro Tuesday. I'm feeling it. Anyway, scrolling on down, guys, Rekt News reported on this. Rekt HQ kind of broke this. Apparently, there was a whistleblower who was let go, and they were pretty upset about what happened. They claim that even after the stepping down of ZeroXMaki, SushiSwap's co-founder, back in September, and the resignation of Chef Nomi, which, by the way, guys, bad things, unfortunately, good things come in threes, bad things come in threes. Apparently, when you got two resignations, right, Chef Nomi took the money and almost ran, and then gave it back, and then stepped down, and then ZeroXMaki stepped up and has since resigned. SushiSwap is not a stranger to controversy. It still runs, right? It's still in operation. People are still making phenomenal gains and yield on that platform. I don't ever want to make it come across as me being critical of this platform or of any of these competitors in the space. There are a lot of builders doing good work. But apparently there have been some issues in terms of people stepping away from this project, and that continues to plague it, apparently. But apparently, ZeroXMaki was forced out of SushiSwap by a circle of power that consisted of SushiSwap CTO Joseph DeLong and other lead developers, Omakase, Keno, and Rachel. I was going to call her Raquel, but that's not quite right. They were not able to fire ZeroXMaki since he had a 3-year contract. That's why he accepted an advisory role, you know, where good intentions go to be ignored as an advisor. He decided to leave SushiSwap in danger of 6 other developers resigning. This in turn called into question the implementation of the Trident update. Wow. Apparently, guys, this I view as much ado about nothing. Seriously, if your yields are running, if people are happy with the product, then why so much controversy? Why so much jealous guarding of the inner circle? I'm not close enough to this to be able to comment, but I do think it's kind of sad that there are projects like this that are starting to experience this kind of negative internal, right, strife, these internal problems. And I do hope that the team at Sushi is okay. The ending note is a comment from Joseph DeLong, and I think he's looking at this very reasonably, right? People are upset, and they think that they see something to be upset about. And what does he say? He says there's been a lot of drama within Sushi and overt manipulation coming from outside Sushi. As a leader, I don't want to discuss these topics, as I think our work products speak for themselves. But this absurd defamation has risen to a level I can't tolerate. Yeah, guys, again, I'm not close enough to this particular issue to know whether or not any of these claims have any merit. We're talking about, you know, a leak from a whistleblower who was recently fired. You can never tell when somebody is just angry and trying to strike back at their former employer, and then not revealing maybe some of the reasons that they were let go. You can never tell when things are just not working out at a corporate or an executive level, and so they have to reshape their teams. And sometimes this kind of restructuring is actually quite good for organizations. Since there is a core group of developers for SushiSwap, this may wind up being the best thing for them. And I think that Joseph DeLong, he's taking the right tact. Whether the allegations are accurate or not, he's taking the right approach for sure. And I sincerely hope that for Joseph and the rest of the team that is still there and actively working on it, that this turns out okay. You hate to see any actors in the crypto space experience this kind of drama because it takes them away from building, right? It takes them away from giving us a better experience on their platforms. Hopefully they resolve that really, really fast. All right, guys, last bit of news is that the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, has joined Chainlink Labs as an advisor. We've heard whisperings of this rumor for a while, right? Like Chainlink has a big announcement with Google. Wait, with Google? Related to Google? What exactly is the big announcement from Chainlink that has anything to do with Google? And it seems apparent that they are, well, maybe not poaching, but they are bringing on advisory talent from Google. Most people like me, forgive me for being a little bit jaded. My first thought was like, okay, so you're using Google Cloud Platform, right? GCP, to be able to host some of your nodes for the Chainlink Oracle system. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. I'm terrible. That's immediately where my mind goes. And wait a second. You know what I just saw? Good grief, what is this? What? Who's this author? Jason Nelson? Who is Jason Nelson? Jason Nelson is a homie. He is absolutely part of the family. I did not realize this was his piece. I'm literally just finding out right now that this is Jason Nelson's, one of his one of his most recent pieces here at Decrypt. He's been a freelancer there for quite some time. Hey, Jason, congrats. As I understand it, I've heard through the grapevine that Jason is now writing for them full time. So that's cool to see, right? Day one, right? That I'm picking anything up from Decrypt, and it's Jason's stuff. Congrats. I'm so proud. I really am. He's a super cool dude. But yeah, this just basically just tells us, yeah, we've got more input from the old guard. Is this bullish for price action? Maybe, but only for a certain investor profile. Daniel chimes in and says, great, more Google. Yeah, I can't disagree, right? Like it's more of the same. If we have all nodes run by AWS, all oracles run between AWS and IBM and Azure and Google, right? Like then what has changed? Not much, really. Just that the fact that the containers that all this software runs on are maybe a little less transparent to the hosts, maybe, if they're set up correctly. But if they're not, then they're really not they're really not any different, right? So, and then, the various other tools that these cloud platforms have to detect what's going on their platforms. I don't know. Hopefully we see a push towards greater true decentralization in the not too distant future. I'm really glad that we've got Daniel here representing the Flux network, which is one of those phenomenal shining examples of proper decentralization and decentralized cloud. So yeah, hopefully we see more of that in the future. Again, big shout out to Jason, big ups to Jason. I'm so glad that he got that piece published over at Decrypt and he landed that gig. All right, here we are on our chart. Quickly taking a look, and no, not a shart. No, my pants are okay. Stop asking. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Stop it, guys. Really, I get enough of that kibitzing from my wife. Jesse Orozco is in the chat. He says, I enjoy this channel. Thank you, Jesse. I enjoy bringing this content to you. I mean, in case it doesn't show, really, like I'm having the time of my life, really. Living my best life on camera, with a microphone, or on stage. I'm just a friggin' ham. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're having a fun time together. We saw a massive flash crash down, a huge wick down. I mean, if this is to be believed, somebody was able to catch that knife all the way down at 42K with Bitcoin. Right before we saw a reversal, there's a little hatchet, right? Little axe handle right there, little hatchet, and then back into the green. And we're outside of that downward channel. We kind of projected with the chopsticks, right? Our very, very scientific, high-tech technical analysis. We detected a downward channel. We were going to try to snap a price of somewhere around $46,000 or $47,000 for Bitcoin with the tip of our chopsticks, like boop, just to snatch it up. And we didn't quite get there, did we? It looks more like this. This is more realistic, a picture of what's happening in the markets. And it looks like the ranges that I was mentioning before, right? Yellow means go faster. Looks like we're back out of that range. So for me, I'm kind of out of that area where I'm really comfortable doing my dollar cost average. This isn't bad. Red is not bad, but getting into that like violet up above, right? Whereas we're going like into infrared, right? We're going outside of the visible spectrum of light. That for me is like, nope, don't go there. No DCA at that point. Yellow, I'm okay and comfortable with. Green, that range I was very comfortable with, just like a semaphore, right, guys? You get to a stoplight and you see green, obviously you can go. And that was the case for me on my dollar cost average. Without telling anybody else what to do, that was my strategy. I felt very comfortable with that. And I feel like that's been validated since then. I've made returns on even recent Bitcoin purchases by dollar cost averaging through this range and hodling. I'm okay with that. There may be some other dips that I may occasionally value buy, but no, as far as a dollar cost average, I've been much more comfortable dollar cost averaging in at this green range and then into the yellow range. But with the red range, a little less so. It's had me concerned because we've only barely broken out into this range for shorter periods, right? Shorter time frames. The initial time that we broke into the 60Ks, it was a couple of little peaks and then back down. More recently, we saw it float in that range for quite a while. So, for example, there we go, October 15th all the way through to November 15th, a full month kind of above that 60K range. But it did seem like we were kind of in for a reckoning, you know? We needed to pay the piper. We couldn't stay that high that long, especially with trillions, right? Plan B talking about how Bitcoin would definitely, for sure, go to 100K at the end of November. That went out the window. Unfortunately, I feel really bad about that. But the rainbow chart stock to flow model that Trillions has been, or Plan B on Twitter has been advocating for so long, well, guess what? all the big VCs, all the big whales, they now have those charts and price targets as well. What are they going to do when the mid-sized players and when retail plebs like us get involved? That's right. They're going to manipulate those markets. They can. They have the tools. They have the know-how. And they definitely have the position size on exchange and even on decentralized exchanges to be able to pull those strings. We've been experiencing price suppression this entire market from day one. What should have been a somewhat more exciting run-up in Bitcoin has kind of fizzled out. And we've seen a lot of sort of alt season happen prematurely, where historically alt season would happen sometime after a Bitcoin run-up. But what are we seeing? We're seeing, well, I mean, in some cases, some extremely happy surprises, right? We're seeing Flux really take off, really step into its own. We're seeing Raptorium. We're seeing Haven. We're seeing a lot of these fundamentally strong projects really step into their own and be viewed for their fundamentals, which is kind of cool. But then we're also seeing meme coins pop off in a way that is like unrealistic, and probably unsustainable. But we are seeing a lot of other projects that are not Bitcoin really have their day in the sun. And I'm here for it, guys. I'm so excited that we're seeing that. All right, guys, bringing the chat back on screen. Let's move from this chart into our DeFi Llama TVL analysis. This is kind of important, guys. Hey, I see Galo Salome in the chat saying, I like Ben Cowan's idea of lengthening cycles with diminishing returns. Yeah, more of a rainbow chart, right? It does kind of like have an arc to it. It's definitely not a straight line. There is something of an arc where we do see a bit of a sideways parabola, right? Where it has a leveling off effect and it does eventually kind of approach zero, right? In terms of net growth or net felt growth across the average for the market. It says Flux for the win with a little diamond. Yep. Keep those diamond hands, boys and girls. Here, Ethereum is kind of holding that roughly 65% DeFi dominance. It's great. It's actually coming back up at the most recent chart right here. Yeah, about 65% of that market dominance for DeFi chains. Guys, Ethereum is synonymous with DeFi right now. You can like it or love it, but you cannot hate it. People who hate Ethereum don't get it. This is where DeFi is happening. I'm not going to get tired of saying that, guys. Ethereum is DeFi. DeFi is Ethereum. If you don't acknowledge that, and if you don't respect that moving into DeFi, you're going to have problems. You're going to have a massive uphill battle trying to gain adoption, trying to gain traction. Guys, if you're looking, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed, smash the button, make it explode. And guys, let me just tell you also that DeFi dominance is only part of the story. We need to pay attention to what is going to create the next wave of DeFi platforms that take off. We see, and we talk about on this show pretty frequently, the protocols and then the TVL, the total value locked on some of these chains. Binance Smart Chain is number 2 for a reason. It's got a massive amount of protocol adoption and also a significant amount of TVL. It's the number 2 in TVL. It's still less than 10% of what Ethereum is. But that does put it in second place. Imagine if that had doubled. Imagine if they had over 30 billion in TVL on Binance Smart Chain. That would be pretty disruptive, wouldn't it? Now, there have been, if you look at the charts, there have been times where BSC has taken a more dominant role. It's currently at, there you go, at under roughly 7%. It has previously been all the way up to 20% or greater. We're not seeing that recently, but there we go, at peak right there. Going to mouse over that. You can see May 8th, close to when we created our portfolio, Binance Smart Chain could basically do no wrong in the minds of traders. They were very much entrenched, and it looked like BSC was going to take over. More recent announcements about Binance shutting down the BSC bridge, their public BSC bridge, with all of their liquidity intact. That's coming true. We are going to see that shut down. And I think that as a result, BSC is going to lose some of its luster. I think we're going to see some people who were on BSC who kind of say, you know what? This is too hard to deal with now because there's not exit liquidity. There's no way for me to, and not even because they're trying to exit that particular asset, but because they're trying to exit that smart chain network onto a different network within the same asset. What happens on Binance stays on Binance. And now that's becoming true of Binance Smart Chain. So I think people who had worries about centralization, those concerns have come true. That's just That's just a reality. We got Omi Wanda, homie, aka Best Car Batman, in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Says USDT holding the peg was huge for Luna. And then Jermaine says, I always think Solana is higher, but then I remember it's non-EVM, if I'm not mistaken. That's true. More protocols on Solana. I mean, that's true. Yes. So, yeah. Whoa! How did I miss that? Yep, Terra is firmly in the number 3 spot where Solana was before. And that's because of the TVL figure. But yeah, the number of protocols that are currently on Solana, and they do have the wormhole bridge, which makes it basically trivial to wrap assets and bridge them onto Solana, but I don't know if that's what's being included here in this protocols figure. Solana, though, you're right. It is not EVM oriented. It does not use Solidity for its smart contracts. It is written in an entirely different programming language with a very different smart contract scheme attached to it. That makes it a different value proposition for people who are wanting to use that network. Yes, the fees are low, but we also saw it basically DDoSed, so the fees were non-existent for about 17 hours while the network was offline. Right? There are some problems there as well. There's no free lunch when it comes to proof of stake. All kinds of different attack vectors apply. So Solana had some speed bumps there. But it exists still, right? It has not been shut down, and more protocols are joining on board. Got Anonymous Miner saying, MineYourbiz, I tried to participate in KYC on CoinBase. I know, bad. But they wouldn't even verify. Kept saying my selfies didn't match my passport and license. Ended up getting on Polygon elsewhere. I'm glad you were able to make that work elsewhere. I'm sorry about Coinbase being such a pain in your butt. Really, I've been off Coinbase for some time, and I think it was the right choice for me and my family. I know people who run Bitcoin and multi-coin ATM networks, and I think that's going to be a massive wave in the future. Yes, there will be some cost premiums, and yes, that will be painful, but I do think that people dealing directly in fiat bills, cash, going directly into crypto networks, and then decentralized bridges for all the rest. I think we're going to see this become a massive wave. Without speaking too in depth, guys, while I was in Miami, I had the surprise and pleasure or mispleasure of running directly into face to face, talking to them like this for a minute with special agents from the IRS. We had a very in-depth talk, and they admitted to me some things about cryptocurrency networks that, I mean, on the one hand, I feel sorry for the guys. They've got a job they can't possibly accommodate. They don't have budgets to be able to cover everything they want to be able to cover from a law enforcement perspective. When people are genuinely bad actors and they're not just like, whatever, late on their taxes or making mistakes on their taxes, maybe just need like a simple audit in their mind. But dang, I don't know how they're going to keep up in the future. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think the IRS is even remotely ready for the direction that cryptocurrencies are moving. After talking to 2 special agents, no less, specialists who deal in cryptocurrency and DeFi, I'm very confident in telling you they don't know what the hell is going on. They just don't. They have no clue, guys. They have no clue. The IRS is not even ready, not even close. So good luck to them, I guess, right? Like, you never want to compete with somebody who's not up to the task, and they're just not, right? And I don't think we're competing, right? We're trying to build a new system, not completely be scofflaws, so to speak. Guys, pay your taxes. Did you hear me? All right, good. But oh my gosh, yeah, view countdown. They're like, all right, demonetized. But awkward silence there too, guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not already, and click all the buttons, guys. It helps. Clickety-clackety, all the buttons. Back into our main overview, though, guys. Let's flip over to protocols, and when we flip over to protocol adoption, that's where we start to see the full story. Yes, BSC is in the number 2 spot still, but Polygon is in the number 3 spot. We've gone up another protocol since the last time I live streamed. We're up to 127 protocols that are now supported by Polygon. Kevin McCormick chimes in, and he's speaking reason to these people. Pay your taxes. He's right. Jermaine, LOL. They coming for you, Uncle Zed. Oh, no. No. If anything, we had a great conversation about like why they need better consultants at the IRS. And I did have a great conversation. Very, very open conversation. It was actually quite refreshing. But we'll talk about that another time, guys. I think that's kind of the substance of the thing, right? Like, that's the substance of the conversation. They're not ready. They need consultants. So IRS, I know you're watching, and I know I've got a special detail. Most of us do. So do reach out. I'm not trying to make your life harder, but there is a lot of help that they need. They just don't even have the vocabulary to start. But moving back over to here, Polygon is number 3, totally displaces those other two. Solana and especially Luna. Luna gets dropped way farther down in the rankings when you look at the number of protocols that are supporting it. Yes, the TVL is high, but that can be manipulated by one coin. So let's throw that out of there. GPU profitability, though, guys, let's take a look at that real fast. RTX 3090 still in the top slot for profit, but it's at $7 per day, even at 10-cent power. Bring it up to 14-cent power, we're more realistic. And guys, I'm going to get this done. Gallo says, couldn't pay taxes. Even if I wanted to, it's illegal in my country. Myself. Cumbia con la luna y cumbia con el sol. That's great, man. Oh my gosh, right? You got me thinking of like a little bachata. We had some great times in Miami, I gotta tell you guys. And it's funny, you listen to certain beats and your feet just start moving. You can't control it. It's just born into some people. So Gallo saying, yeah, I'd pay taxes if I could. Right. Dig Deep Miner, I want to go to that country. Yeah, right. Radeon, there we go. Ooh, when we get 14-cent power, we're below $7. Profits are dipping quite fast. Let me scroll on down to the bottom of the line so we see what the worst case scenario is, and that's with that Radeon R9 380 4 gig. We're still doing 27 cents per day on LAism and VertHash, so you've got options there. With Ethereum Classic, something just a little bit more well-known, we've got only 12 cents. Pull up that chat, guys. We got Gabo saying, Miami Fuego. That's right. Yeah, I'm going to get Seth a haircut. Bro, I got that haircut. Newsflash. I probably need to get myself to a dope barber, right? Get this kind of, get everything lined up. But Absalom says, just go to Portugal, tax-free country on crypto. That's true, but I think that there are there's more to the story than just that. Guys, it looks like the worst case scenario, every one of the GPUs that we've been tracking over the last several months is still in the money. It's almost unbelievable. Even the 1066 gig is over $1 per card. The RX 480/588 gig, over $1.50. This seemed unbelievable. These are cards that should not have been available. Gallo says, Crocs are great for dancing bachata. How? Bro, how do you know what I'm wearing right now? Explain yourself. How do you know I'm wearing Crocs right now? Seriously, though, I said that on Twitter, guys. Jokes aside, yeah, I spent a lot of the time in Crocs because they're comfy as all get out. But those are our GPU mining profits, guys. The portfolios are public. I want to just kind of make that obvious that over here on CoinGecko, I've made these portfolios public. Our top winner in GPUs is Flux, and the total portfolio is up over the last 24 hours. It's still kicking butt, taking names. If you were mining Flux, you're a happy, happy camper. Moving into our hard drive mining portfolio, guys, I've got to get out of here pretty fast. We got storage, and our biggest loser is still Chia. We're below, oh my gosh, we're scraping $100, down 86%. Not good. Hard drive mining portfolio is looking okay, though, overall, up over the last 24 hours. CPU mining portfolio up significantly over the last 24 hours, and it's Raptorium leading the charge. Killing it again, as usual. Epic Cash coming up in a big way, too. That said, Raptorium is down over the last 7 days. So, guys, I mentioned it last time when I live streamed and we were closer to $50,000 in that paper trade portfolio. Take profits. Don't dump. Don't ever dump, but do take profits when you know you have profits. Take them safely, be responsible, and be a good steward, right? Take care of the projects that take care of you, but take care of your profits. You have to do that too. All right, guys, Go Mining Token is still the top winner for our ASIC mining portfolio, and it's just a derivative token. Pirate Chain is still our biggest loser at $1.40. So if you see that as a deal, then maybe hop in, maybe get some exposure. Up to you. Not telling you what to buy, not telling you how to buy it. Moving on from ASICs over to our FPGA mining portfolio. Let's see. Absalom says, no, it's not. I live here. Just get a good lawyer and you will never pay tax on crypto. Beautiful. Jermaine says, I thought Gallo was one of those agents that spotted Seth's Crocs. Hey, it could be. You never can tell, man. Nobody knows you're a dog on the internet or an IRS agent. FPGAs, looks like we're up over the last 24 hours. Cadena, still killing it. Last 7 days, down bad, down really bad. But let's be real, for $1,000 in on May 26th, you're still up by over 16 grand. Nervos Network is not entered correctly there. Digibyte is still our biggest loser, and it's down pretty significantly over the last 7 days too. It suffered from the dip like everything else. Proof of stake smart contracts, guys. Let's take a quick look at this. Do a roundup here. Terra Luna is still in our top spot. It is slaying. Over the last 7 days, everything else was in the red. What was in the green? Terra. I got a really great enamel button that I got, or enamel coin that I got from Terra because they're a partner with one of the clients for the agency that I work for as my day job. It's great. I got this beautiful collector's edition Terra enamel button or enamel coin. Looks beautiful, but it is killing. If you had that $1,000 in your portfolio end of May, you'd currently be up over 8 grand in profit. Not even just overall, but in profit, you'd be up over 8 grand if you needed to take those profits. Scooting on down that list, biggest loser is still ICP. Oh, it hurts. No, it doesn't. If you haven't gotten rid of that, guys, in my opinion, it was just so clearly a loser early on, probably needed to be cut from more portfolios much sooner. All right, guys. Saitama Inu is still one punching our profits out into space, absolutely vaporized. $1,000 in, end of May, still nets you over $1.1 million profit. Irrational markets. If you just, if that describes you, I'm proud. I ain't mad at you one bit. You speculated on a meme coin and you won. Seriously, who can be mad at that? But be careful as you ladder out of your profits, right? As you scale out of your profits and average out of your profits, don't wreck that price, because if you try to dump, you're not going to get all those profits, right? Scrolling down the list, Gallo Salome says, Seth, Shisha Finance just launched on Polygon. Thoughts? Guys, I need to disclose. I did some coverage on Shisha Finance's Polygon launch, and I disclosed in that video that I did accept an early investment position, right? I need to make that very clear. Very, very clear. I don't intend to dump on my audience at all, but you need to know that I'm not the only person that has had access to an early position in this new token. There are VCs, there are smaller investment groups, there are other influencers, and people all across crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube that have exposure to the Polygon Shisha token. So just be aware that price is going to do this for a little while, right? As it does when it's just listed. But I'm excited about it. Shisha is killing it. They are killing it. Expect more media from me about Shisha and its partner programs, because I'm genuinely excited, guys. I don't take positions like that unless I have real conviction. But I do have an early position, and I'm not the only one. Not everybody's nice like me. Not everyone's going to talk about it, and not everyone is going to warn you about the potential for dumping, right? So just be aware. Be aware. Stay safe. But pay attention too. It's an interesting project, an interesting fund. They've done really well on Ethereum and on BSC. I think they're going to do really well on Polygon too. So thanks for asking about that. All right, guys, biggest losers over here are unfortunately Dragons Quick and Quick Swap. Part of that is because I've heard rumors about maybe some changes coming out of that group. I'm very privileged to be involved in conversations with that team, so I don't want to give any spoilers or anything. But there's a reason it's on this portfolio, guys. I'm excited about it. All right, I need to call it a day, guys. What didn't I cover? What time should I actually go live? I feel like I kind of went live a bit early. Smash that like. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're lurking. Make sure that you have that bell icon and notifications turned on. All notifications. Way too much coming out over the next coming days and weeks. Yeah, Bitcoin dipped. It recovered. Yeah, this bull run is not over. Don't let anyone tell you that that's the case. It's just going to look very different from before. So we need to talk about this on a regular basis. Thanks for being tuned in, guys. You know I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mineyour.biz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your